Did you ever take anything from the set? And if so, do you still have it?
Well, those assholes. We were ending the show, and NBC literally called like our prop guy and was like, do not let those actors take any fucking thing. Central Florida is awesome, city of Orlando. The beautiful city of Orlando, not so much. I've come here a lot. I've been to a lot of the parks and fun stuff like that. And I did a horror convention in Osceola. Is that near here? Yeah. I love the Central Florida. I love me some Florida man. You know what I mean? I love me a big, meaty, stanky Florida man.
And we have lots of. Have you ever Googled your Florida man?
No, my son told me about that. My son's 19 and he said that there's a Florida man of the day. For every day that you're born, there's a Florida man. Yeah, he said that his was a Florida man who was found naked, passed out in his own feces in a McDonald's play space.
The beautiful city of Orlando, perhaps?
Probably, in the beautiful city of Orlando.
Much. Okay, so I wanted to...
Paris, Rome, London, Orlando.
I love it so much. Rainn, what did you want to be growing up? Did you always know that you wanted to be an actor and a writer? Or how did this all happen?
Yeah, it's funny that you asked that. There's this weird story. I have a story about that, which is I always... when I would watch TV and I would see the people doing the comedy on the shows, you know, Bob Newhart or I Dream of Jeannie, or even growing up in like Taxi and, you know, all of these incredible shows, and I was like, I want to do that. You know, and I didn't even know, I'd never met an actor. I lived in suburban Seattle, and that's a beautiful city. And here's the funny thing, my mom had taken off when I was about 1.5 years, and I stayed with my dad. And one thing I didn't know was I got to know my mom later on in life. I didn't get to know her until I was a teenager. She had been an actress when she was younger and when I was a baby, which I had no idea of. So it's interesting, there seems to be a genetic component there as well. So, yeah, and then I just started doing plays, and I found I was pretty good at making people laugh, and then, you know, when I made people laugh, like, I was a really nerdy kid, but then the girls were interested in me because I could make them laugh, and then I was like, hells yeah.
We love nerdy. Yeah, you're in the right place, right? And I love like the diversity of your roles. Like you mentioned, you get to do horror conventions as well. So anything from House of a Thousand Corpses to the Weird Al biopic to obviously The Office. So I want to know what particularly draws you to a role.
Well, you know, it's funny. Wally Shawn is here, you know, from Princess Bride and so many other great things. And he's one of my heroes. But he started as a playwright in New York City. And I used to, when I was studying acting in New York, I used to read Wallace Shawn plays. This is like before Princess Bride. And I come from a theater background, and the thing I like about a theater background is like, everyone is a character actor, right? You transform to the character as needed and the part as needed. So I just am drawn to characters that I get to play. I hope it, you know, obviously at the end of the day, like when I die and at the Emmys, I don't know if they'd show my film at the Oscars. I'm not sure if I'm big enough in film that way, but like in memoriam kind of video, you know, there'll be a lot of Dwight. But there's a lot of other roles that I played that I think are very different than Dwight and transformational. And so at the end of the day, I really like to play a variety of roles that are widely different and stretch me in different ways.
And since we are in a theater, out of curiosity, do you have any theater superstitions? Like, will you say the Scottish play, or is that, we don't...
Yeah, no, I really grew up where you don't say the name of the Scottish play in the theater, and if you accidentally do, there's a series of Supersitions of what you need to do. You need to spin around 3 times, spit on the floor, leave the theater, and ask to be let back in. That's real.
Yeah.
That's for real. I go there, so don't fuck with me.
So you'll spit on the floor and then someone has to come clean it. That's a big process,
Yes.
apparently.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, well, if it's okay with you, we're going to take some questions from the crowd. We do have 2 microphones, so you guys can line up on that side as well. But we'll start over here. What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name is Zoe. I've been a fan of The Office for like ever. And I just want to know, throughout the years, did you ever take anything from the set? And if so, do you still have it?
Well, those assholes. We were ending the show, and NBC literally called like our prop guy and was like, do not let those actors take any fucking thing. And do you know why? Because they sold it all on eBay. Like, they literally were like, this is NBC Universal. They own like Back to the Future franchise that's made them $8 billion, right? And they like wanted to like Dwight's pencil holder to sell on eBay for $27. I'm not kidding. So I got Dwight's glasses and I got the nameplate on his desk, maybe 1 or 2 other things, but then it's crazy. Like, I'll run into fans and they'll be like, I've got your desk blotter from your desk. I've got Dwight's scissors. I've got your... I'm like, you asshole. Like, yeah, I paid $107 for it on eBay. So, thanks. Good question.
And I just want to say thank you for all the laughs throughout the years.
You're welcome.
All right, on this side. What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, I'm Charlie. I just wanted to tell you real quick, January 20th, your Florida man, a man was arrested for a DUI, and he thought a bank drive-through was a Taco Bell.
That's
So-
perfect.
All right, congratulations.
That's
This is
perfect.
huge.
I've done that. I did in my drinking days. I did that and worse.
Are you Florida man?
I'm Seattle man, so I don't know. I'm Washington man.
We'll take it. My question is, what is your favorite fairy tale?
Ooh, that sparked your curiosity.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
I don't know. What's my favorite fairy tale?
You're asking me?
What's the one with the guy like, I'm the little guy?
Rumpelstiltskin?
Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the answer. Thank you so much.
I'd like to play Rumpelstiltskin. They could make me smaller in CGI. I don't know if that's offensive to the
Shrek?
little people
The
community.
Shrek live action?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Great.
Thank you.
What's your name? What's your question over here?
My name is Matt, and I'm a huge fan of yours in the office, so thank you again for the laughs and all the memories and stuff. I really appreciate it. And my question is, which one of Jim's pranks in the office was your favorite? And also, if the roles were reversed, what would your character as Dwight pull on Jim to get back at him?
Well, my favorite one is when they moved Dwight's desk into the bathroom. And he's like, warmer, colder, colder, warmer. And goes in, and then I just love the writer's details of like, then Jim calls Dwight, and Dwight answers the phone and asks a question about the price of paper. And then the toilet flushes, and then Kevin walks out. You can imagine like what it smelled like in there. And I just love all of those kind of details that they did. And I think I got to direct the episode called Classy Christmas, where the Dwight was inside the snowman and all the snowmen out in the parking lot. And I do think that was Dwight's perfect prank on Jim. Like, he created a fun house of horror to truly scare Jim to his core.
Great question. Well, what is that like directing, but also appearing in the episode as well? Is that?
Yeah, fortunately, they let us do it after we had been on the show for many years, so we knew our characters really well, and we knew kind of how to fit in and play our characters. But it could be really challenging. You'd be like action, and you'd go and you're acting, but like 10% of your brain is wondering if the camera's in the right place. So it was very challenging, and then you'd go watch playback, and but you know, it was such a great team, the camera team and the script supervisor and the writers. You got so much help that it really, directing on The Office was more of a team effort.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, back to the side. Go ahead.
Hi, first off, thank you for coming to our interesting city.
Thanks.
So many adjectives.
It should be Orlando, interesting.
Great. In The Office, was there a scene that Dwight wasn't in that you would have liked to act in?
Wait, what?
Was there a scene that Dwight wasn't in that you would have liked to be like a part of?
That's an interesting question. Interesting question. Boy, I can't think of that.
Like
I don't
an
know.
iconic day on set that because Dwight wasn't there, you weren't there that you missed.
Maybe like Steve saying goodbye to Pam at the airport, and it's really beautiful, but then Dwight like tackles Michael as he's trying to board the plane to just give him one last hug. That would have been good. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Zan, and my question, sorry, Mike's over here. My name is Zan, and my question is, I really enjoyed seeing your role as Harry Mudd on Star Trek. And Star Trek, as I'm sure you know, is really well known for repeat guest stars because you could just be a different alien the next time. And I'm wondering if there's any particular alien race on Star Trek you'd like to reappear as.
Oh, wow. Let's see. Remember when Captain Kirk fought the lizard man?
The Gorn.
The Gorn, yeah. I think the Gorn are misunderstood. I'd like to be a Gorn. Yeah. There could be a whole spin-off show about the Gorn. I don't know if my face would show out of the mouth of the Gorn suit. I don't know. That could be good. Yeah.
Thank you.
So how do you feel about facial prosthetics and wearing stuff like that? Are you?
I feel terrible about that. I've actually turned down roles because they're like, oh, by the way, you need to come in at 4:30 a.m. and you have 2 hours of prosthetic makeup before we shoot. And I was like, no. You calculate the hours, how many weeks the job is, and it's really tough. And it's psychologically damaging. It really is.
I believe it. Over here, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Madeline. I was going to ask you a question about that prank, but mullet guy over here stole it from me. So, since you're an actor and you've done a lot of different things, what do you feel like is a role that has pushed you the furthest? Not necessarily your favorite, but like that you really got to dig deep into your character that was special to you because of that?
Well, I loved being in James Gunn's Super and the role of Frank Darbo. Because a lot of it was accessible to me, like it's kind of funny and odd, and I do that pretty well. But there were also a lot of real heartbreaking scenes and kind of emotional depth there. That it was really fun to try and find that balance between the silly and absurd, and also dark, violent, and also really heartfelt. So all of that is encapsulated in that one role. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Malachi. Ever since I've seen your role in The Office, I've always been kind of curious. What's your blood type?
Is this a kink thing?
I'm 14.
Okay. This is really not a place for underage people. I don't know what my blood type is. I should know that. What's your blood type? You don't know? I think it's A positive. I don't know.
We can go with that.
So interesting. I'm sorry I lied, I'm 22.
Yeah.
I can see past the hat. Sorry.
Thanks, Malachi. Florida Malachi.
Hi, Rainn. My name is Mia. I just want to say first and foremost, thank you for being here. Also, my roommates and I absolutely love The Office. We watch an episode every night, like we make it a point to, so thank you for all the laughs. My question for you is, if Dwight was a Disney character, who would he be?
Scrooge McDuck.
That's real.
Questions?
Get out of here.
Hey, I'm Brian. How you doing? Thanks for coming out.
Where are you from, Ryan?
From Melbourne, Florida.
Yeah, you look like you're from Melbourne, Florida. Do you drive one of those boats with the big fans on the back of it?
Of course. Why? Do you need a ride?
Yeah. I need a ride to the McDonald's play space.
Well, you can meet Malachi there later.
Yep.
I've been an Office super fan forever, so much so that I have a 17-year-old daughter who's now also a super fan, and she's going off to film school next year to be a director. So I was wondering if you had any advice for her.
No, that's great. I'm so glad. We need more women directors, first of all. I think that's great. Yeah. I think that directing is so hard because directing is answering 1,000 questions and making sure that the answers all stay in the same world. So you're literally like, this ashtray or this ashtray? Do you want him to say this or that? Do you want her hair like this or like that? Do you want to shoot it in this warehouse or do you want to shoot it in this warehouse? Do you want a camera here or do you want the camera here? So you're answering 1,000 questions and you've got to winnow your responses so that it all feels like it's in the same world with the same tone. And that's what's the hardest thing about directing. So good luck.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Maggie. I love The Office.
Are you in a like Harry Potter thing?
No, it's a Froppy cosplay from My Hero Academia.
We should find out his quirk.
What? My hope?
Your quirk, like a superhero ability that you would have.
Oh. I have the ability to effortlessly answer ridiculous questions.
You're doing great.
From Floridians. Yeah.
I'm originally from New York, so please don't hold that against me. But I live in Melbourne now. So my question actually is about the Meg. Did you know what was going to end up with your character when you took on that role, and how was it filming that?
Yeah, you read the script and I saw that I get chomped and spoiler alert, I die. And I'm not in the Meg 2. But that was fun. We shot it in New Zealand, which was a blast. And I'll never forget filming that scene because I had to do, a dozen takes of swimming my ass off and climbing on this fake whale carcass, covered in blood and slime. And then I kept trying, he'd be like, 3, 2, 1, come! Like he chomps me, and I'd be like, ah! And he'd be like, no, do it again. Like, I need to see your back spasm, I need to see the pain. We'd have to do it over and over again to get it. But it was fun. It was fun as hell. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Go ahead.
Hello, I love you.
That's so sweet. Thank you. I like you a lot. I'm not going to go.
Thank you. It's because I'm from Minnesota and not Florida.
All right.
Number one, I think The Rocker was so underrated. I love that movie.
Thank you.
And I guess I'm curious, I'm a huge Office fan, so I wanted to say thank you. I was in the Navy once upon a time, and The Office is like all
Did
we
you wear
watch.
that in the Navy?
No.
Okay.
But The Office is what kept us going every day. Like, we always watched The Office, and it was such a comforting thing for a lot of us.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, what was your favorite episode or like thing that Dwight did that you had the most fun doing?
Well, I think my favorite episode was the injury, which is Dwight getting a concussion And Michael burning his foot in the George Foreman grill. But because Dwight got to have that, his personality changed where he was kind of sweeter and more ditzy because of his concussion. I got to play a lot of different characters, and I always loved that Dwight relationship with Pam too. So
Me too.
that was really my favorite. Thank you.
I quote a lot, "You can't fire me, I don't work in this van."
I improvised that line too. So
Go ahead.
Hi, my name's Megan. Okay, I have a little bit of a complex question. So, The Office obviously has such a huge fan base that on social media, it's kind of taken on a life of its own with all of the TikTok audios and people, pet accounts where their dogs are named after characters from The Office. Do you have a favorite piece of content that has been, taken from The Office and given a life of its own on social media?
well, there's so many memes, and there's always new stuff happening, and that's really fun. But I think my favorite one is just that old standby. It was kind of the first meme that came out of The Office, which was just Dwight kind of going, just like a very subtle, disapproving shake of the head. But I love that a meme was so subtle. Do you know what I mean? Because usually memes are like, "Whoa!" and it's a very understated meme. So I like that.
I was gonna say, dare I say, the newest one of you on the plane watching the guy watching The Office.
Yes, that was a fun. That happens all the time. Watching people. Well, here's the thing. This is Florida, okay?
Beautiful.
I was flying from LAX to Orlando yesterday, and I sat next to a woman who. She was about 50 and blonde and looks like she'd formerly been in a sorority. And we were in business class because I'm fancy that way and I'm a little bit fat. So she pulls out like the most expensive iPad. Like, you know how the iPads go? This was like the $1,800 iPad, which you don't need. You just don't need. And she complains to the stewardess that her stomach doesn't feel well. So they bring her some peppermint tea, which she doesn't really drink, and some ginger ale. But then she's secretly eating a Snickers bar and potato chips. And for the entirety of the flight, 4.5, 5 hours, she watches Real Housewives of Orange County. One after another. Like, I'm doing notes on a script, then I'm watching a horror film, which is, what is that? Just let me in, say hello, talk to me. That was so good. Have you guys seen that? No, you haven't seen it. You need to see Talk to Me. If you like horror, oh dudes, it's really good. And I'm like answering emails, and I take a nap, and just the whole time she's just. What was the question?
Your favorite piece of content that's come from The Office?
Oh, so you're talking about me being on the plane with the guy watching The Office. Okay. That's all. Get out of here.
Hi, my name is also Megan, funny enough. First, I just wanted to say, coming here to see you was my birthday gift, and it's literally the best birthday that I've ever had in my entire life. I have looked for you for so long.
Come here. Let me say happy birthday. Oh, happy birthday. It was my birthday last week. It's so nice to meet you.
You are my comfort character. You were my favorite character in any TV show ever. You were my favorite person in the entire world.
I'm the favorite person in the entire world. Wow. That is a heavy responsibility. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Thank you so much, Megan. Happy birthday.
Did you have a question, Megan? Oh, okay. I didn't know, she just wanted to gush about you.
I had to get that out first. So my question is,
Deep breaths, Megan.
Yeah. So my question is, what is your favorite, what is something that on The Office that you filmed that you loved that maybe didn't make the cut?
What is something that filmed that didn't make the cut? There was an episode later on that I did with Ellie Kemper, and I was teaching her Dothraki from Game of Thrones, and they just cut it down to like just a little moment or two. But we did a lot of scenes of us doing Dothraki, and it was some funny shit there. So maybe when they do a supersized episode, they'll have more of Dwight and Aaron doing Dothraki.
Do you remember any of the Dothraki?
I don't remember.
Dracarys.
Dracarys.
Perfect.
Thank you.
We have time for maybe 2 more questions. Let's go to this side. Go ahead.
Hi there, my name is Kiki, and my question is actually pretty similar to the first Megan, so I'm just going to play off of that. There are so many office memes out there. I use them exclusively with some of my friends, but because there are so many, I wanted to know, is there one that really caught you by surprise? Like, really? They chose to, like, immortalize that moment of The Office?
There is me when I'm meeting Angela in our secret place in the warehouse where we have sex, where I'm like this with my shirt off, and then they pixelate down here, and I have a really ridiculous body. It's pear-shaped and pale and bulbous in all the wrong places, and I love showing it off for comedy, and I love that image. So pixelated naked Dwight.
Amazing.
Thanks for asking.
Hi, my name is Joanna and I'm from Switzerland. And I wanted to ask...
How did you end up in Orlando? You do understand that Orlando is not America, right?
You can blame my boyfriend who is from here, so...
How did you end up with a boyfriend from Orlando? You're from Switzerland, you ended up with a Florida man boyfriend?
Yeah. Anyway... I wanted to ask, how was that for you to film in the office and play with the camera so much? Because I guess usually you have to kind of ignore the camera and just play whatever. But for the office, that was like a huge part to look at the camera and talk to them. So was that like a lot different, or how was that for you?
Yeah, normally the whole idea is kind of what they call the fourth wall, that you're in a reality and the cameras are capturing behavior and you're completely unaware of like what the camera is doing. So, but the camera became like another character in a way. So everyone had a different relationship to the camera. You know, Michael's relationship was performative. Jim's relationship was like, can you believe these idiots, you know? And Dwight was kind of somewhere in between, but everyone let the camera in as a confidant, you know, into their behavior. And that's one of the most brilliant things that Ricky Gervais, and I read about Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant when they created the BBC office, that the reason they did that is they just had no money. They had a super low budget to film 6 episodes, and they're like, shoot, how are we gonna do this? Like, well, let's just make it a camera crew that's like following them and making it a documentary. That way we can shoot it really cheap, just set up some lights and do a bunch of takes, but then have the characters aware of the camera is one of the most ingenious elements of that creation of that show. So thank you, Ricky and Stephen.
Thank you.
All right, let's try to get through 1 or 2 more if we can. Go ahead, what's your name, what's your question?
Okay. Hey, I'm Ben. Thank you for being here. I was reading something earlier about how your dynamic with Steve Carell and your improv time with him and how that affected your ability and how he pushed that limit with you. I'm curious if there was any actors in the stage of your career that left a really heavy mark on the way that you do things, the way that you act, the way that you improv, etc.
You mean other than Steve?
Yeah, other than Steve.
Yeah.
Or it could be Steve if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, you learn something from watching great actors. I learned a lot from watching, even just briefly, Elliot Page work in Juno, and again in Super, yeah, you know, lots of different actors that I learned from along the way. Nothing's coming to mind, but you know, Steve doesn't get much better than that. I mean, I did a couple episodes of this show called Mom. That's a sitcom with Allison Janney, and watching Allison Janney work was really exceptional. She's kind of like a Steve Carell, just completely lightning fast, doesn't miss a beat, completely in character, just beautifully, moments flow out. She's really exceptional as well.
Thank you.
All right, Rainn, this is going to be our final question. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey. Hi, my name's Cameron. So Mullet Guy stole my question. All right, thank you very much. But out of all things, what was your favorite project besides The Office?
Of all things, what was my favorite project besides The Office? I recently did a travel show for Peacock. Thank you. Called The Geography of Bliss. So I got to travel the world looking for happiness around the world, how to find happiness, and talked about my own mental health journey and struggles. And there's a rhinoceros in the kitchen right now, and I can't get it out of my kneecap because when I travel to Lithuania, I need to have a blood infusion of popcorn within the cornea. She's good. Oh.
They're amazing.
Pretty good.
Amazing.
Pretty good. Very good. Very nice. Yeah. So The Geography of Bliss, it's on Peacock. If any of you guys watch The Office there, check it out. It's a show that means a lot to me, and I got to really bring some cool positive messages with a lot of fun along the way. Thanks for asking. We good?
I think we're good. I think we did it.
You're delightful.
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
Thank you so much
You're
for
delightful.
having this conversation with me.
Thank you.
Goodbye, you guys. Thank you.